at Walk-Ons. We are joined with, first of all, the Texas High cheerleaders and the cheer team. Girls, how are y'all feeling today?
Feeling great.
Feeling good.
Yep.
It's a good day.
Y'all go ahead and introduce yourselves, and if you have any titles in the cheer program, go ahead and say those as well.
I'm Libby Lavender, senior squad leader.
I'm Neely Kate Anderson. I'm our varsity captain.
I'm Ariana Aguilar, senior squad leader.
And I'm Zaria Black, a senior squad leader.
All right, so we're just now starting the month of November now. Kind of tell us where you are in your cheer season and kind of what you're looking forward to as the year progresses.
Well, right now we're playing at our first playoff game next week, so we're really excited about that. We're also starting competition, so we go to UIL State, and we're going to start trying out and practices and stuff coming up, and we're really excited for that.
Yep.
Yeah,
Best part of the year.
Yes.
And so kind of talk about what is your most favorite part about these playoff games coming up, and what you're looking forward to the most about being on the field with your team, especially you seniors, and enjoying those moments.
It's just not measurably hot, so we
Yeah.
actually get to move around a little bit more.
Yeah, I like cheering when it's cold because we're all kind of delusional because we're so cold, and it's just makes it so much more fun.
Yes, definitely. And it's so much fun just to be out there and knowing that it could be our last game or this and that gets us really excited, and we're all really invested in the game.
Yeah.
So.
And so senior night coming up again this Friday, another senior night this past Friday. But senior night this Friday, and then one more home game at Texas High. Tell us what that means for y'all, especially as seniors, and kind of the sentimental value that it has in being at Gremlin last time.
It's going to be tough.
Yeah,
I'm not
so
ready
hard.
for it to go.
It's going to be really tough, especially us walking down with our parents. We've seen all the seniors do it in the past years, and we've been sad about that. Now it's us. So we're kind of oh my gosh, this is crazy.
Right.
you
How
know?
did it happen?
Yeah.
So soon?
I feel like that's always been the hardest part about it is passing the torch on to the next people
Oh,
and,
yeah.
and,
Sure.
and kind of drifting away. How do you feel like you have passed that torch on to the next group and have kind of introduced them into what cheer is and make them enjoy it?
Sometimes, when the other cheer team comes to, visit and talk to us, we'll leave, all the underclassmen there to cheer, and they just kind of get a feel for what it's going to be like next year and take that leadership on.
And when we go talk, it's a senior thing to go talk to the other team, the other team's cheerleaders, and like she said, the juniors get to be by themselves, and so next year they'll get to go talk to the team, and just it's just fun, and I don't know.
Talk about some of the community events that y'all have been partaking in lately. This past weekend, y'all had the trunk or treat. Obviously, it got moved into the multi because of the weather, but obviously a great time had within the community. A great event put on by Texas High. Talk about other events that y'all have looking forward that you're looking forward to show out and be kind of a figure for Texas High as it will be.
Christmas parade? That's always
Oh,
fun.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We have Bacon Fry coming up.
Yeah.
We have a
Yeah.
community pep rally right before our first playoff game, and the whole community can come, obviously, and we cook pancakes and bacon and stuff, and it's just a lot of fun bringing everybody together, and then we perform our routine and stuff, and everybody gets to watch, so it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So talking about bacon fry, I'm sure that's probably going to be your answer to the next question, but a lot of senior traditions, a lot of traditions at Texas High. What is that favorite tradition of yours and that you look most forward to as your last year at Texas High?
I don't know.
Mine would probably be dinner theater.
Mine too.
Oh,
I was about to say
yeah.
that.
Definitely.
Even though it's not during football season, it's one of
Yeah.
the things we
It's-
always look
yeah,
forward
Right,
to.
for sure.
Definitely.
And how much practice goes into that into dinner theater? We don't really get the opportunity to talk about it because whenever it comes time for it. But talk about the effort that goes into it each and every year. I know Miss Waldrop is always on y'all about
Yeah.
making
Oh,
sure that
yeah.
you have your choreography right, you got your costumes right, and that and it's fast changing with those costumes as well. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
it's high pressure situations. So kind of talk about what goes into dinner theater and how you spend all year getting ready for that one moment.
I guess every Sunday, kind of closer to January through March, we're practicing. We're all making up dances. Make sure you get Sudi's approval because
Yeah.
if not, that dance ain't going on. But
Yeah.
I just like the experience. We're all just getting together, having fun, doing whatever,
Mhm.
goofing off for a while. But then
Yeah.
we have to realize that we have to get serious towards a little bit
Yeah.
and get our dances done and learned. So.
Yeah. And throughout the year, Miss Waldrop or Courtney will hear a song and they'll be y'all write that down. That's for dinner theater later. Y'all make sure you keep that in mind. And we're okay. So.
and kind of talk about how cheer has brought y'all closer together, not only as in your squad, but also with the other members of the school as well, and kind of help you grow into those different groups without the school, and just kind of be all around kind of personable with everybody.
We're literally like at everything, so like we always get a chance to talk to like people and meet new people, and Courtney will be like, hey, y'all go say hi to this person, and we'll go and we'll just start a conversation, and it'll be really fun.
Definitely. And like in the past years when volleyball has like gone off to playoffs, like we've taken vans or buses to their playoff games, and like, you know, that brings us closer together, and being at all the volleyball games and the basketball games and little things that you usually wouldn't think that everybody would come to, because, you know, football's a big thing, but just brings us all closer together, and it's a lot of fun.
Well, so I do want to shout out the volleyball team that couldn't be here tonight. We invited them, but they got in late last night after a big playoff win by district champions against Lufkin.
Yes.
A funny story that I want to tell real quick, just because you brought up the bus trips. So I think it was my sophomore year. I was in Tiger Vision, and I was going to get highlights of the volleyball team. It was when Trayana Rush and all these people were on the volleyball team, and I needed a ride. Well, so I rode with the middle school volleyball team down to the playoff game, and they were singing the national anthem and the Star Spangled Banner. It's the same thing. The Star Spangled Banner and all these different songs the entire time, and it was probably the worst experience I've ever had. But like, I just can't imagine, like, I don't know, every single bus trip with each other. The closer that you get, I have a feeling it's the same exact way that it can be. The random Disney songs, the random Hannah Montana, whatever it may be. Like, it always happens. But I mean, it grows you closer as a unit, and but it also makes it harder whenever it does come close to time for senior night and those sort of things. And so coming into this final regular season game, what are you most looking forward to in like your chance and your cheers and kind of getting that crowd ready for playoffs?
I don't know. I think just getting everybody excited, because like everyone's like, this is our last game before playoffs, you know, like we're getting ready, and everyone's just going to be excited to move on and like know that here we go again, like this is the fourth year, you know, and this happened for us every year, so we're just really excited and want to get everybody else excited too.
Yeah, for sure.
Now that I'm thinking about it more, I think y'all might have been on. Did any of y'all play middle school volleyball? Okay, I was just making sure, because I would have been offensive to y'all, because y'all would have been in middle school.
That's so funny.
So you talked a little bit about competition. Talk about what goes into competition and what you're most looking forward to whenever that starts.
I'm looking forward to the rooms, because we get randomly paired, and so it just makes us closer with the younger girls, and to be able to get closer with them and talk more one-on-one.
Definitely. The hotel rooms are just so much fun, and we just, it's a ton.
I'm kind of looking forward to like the Christmas break practices. I know it's kind of weird because like you want to be on break, but like being with my girls during Christmas break is so fun. I love it.
Right.
And so kind of talk about, because I'm not too familiar, but what goes into competition and how much effort and how much hard work does that pay off? And you go to summer camps as well to learn a lot of stuff, and how much does that play a factor into what you do into competition?
So like when we go to camp, we learn all of these different things, like how to perform and how to do this and how to use your props and this kind of stuff. So we use it all throughout the year at games and at performances and this and that. So then we go to competition, and it's like what we've been waiting for, you know, and we start having these practices where we learn our band chant and our cheer and our fight song and all of this. And we just use everything that we've learned and practiced throughout the year at the actual practices and at the competition, and it all really pays off, and it's so much fun.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate y'all girls, and I hope y'all the best these coming weeks. The last home game is at Grimm, and wish y'all the best in your years.
Thank
you so much.
We'll be right back after these messages.
We are excited to announce here at Texarkana Emergency Center and Hospital that we have expanded our capabilities to better serve our community. As a hospital, we have the capability for inpatient services. After your outstanding emergency care, we can smoothly transition you into one of our new inpatient rooms that have telemetry monitors in every room to continue your concierge medicine care. While our patients continue receiving their care in their inpatient suites, we also make sure that your loved ones are taken care of with our outstanding facilities. Our added services include a procedure room and also the capability of MRIs. With our imaging, we are able to offer outpatient, inpatient, and emergency room, MRI, CT, ultrasound, and X-ray. We are honored by your support and look forward to serving all your future medical needs.
And we are back here live at Walk-Ons. We are now joined with the High Steppers. Ladies, y'all go ahead and introduce yourselves.
I'm Liberty. I'm a senior lieutenant.
I'm Cameron Jean, and I am the senior captain.
Lovely to have y'all here live here at Walk-Ons again. Kind of tell us how this football season has been for you, and kind of what y'all have experienced so far this year. A few more home games under your belt, and a lot more practices. Kind of how has this been kind of a sentimental year for you two?
So obviously it's our senior year, and we are holding on to this year just a little bit like tighter because we're gonna leave soon, and like we're not gonna have any of this left. I'm really emotional, but we're not gonna have this for much longer. So we've kind of just been like holding on to what we can. Football season's always really special. It's the time that we spend a lot of time together all year, but we spend a lot of time in football season with each other and building the team and bonding. And so this year has been amazing, and we've grown a lot as a team. And we've faced a few setbacks, like when Miss Reynolds was gone for her maternity leave, and this Friday when our music went out. But we have always been able to conquer them and come out stronger as a team from those experiences. And so I think that we're doing really well, and I think it's only going to go up from here.
This week has definitely been sentimental, especially since it's senior week.
Yeah.
And Miss Reynolds has decided within the last year that she wants to make it a whole week. Like, we're celebrating all week long.
Yeah.
And so yesterday they walked out and they gave us like these big signs with our names on them, and like all the girls wrote on them, and I started crying.
Yeah.
And correct me if I'm wrong, it feels like this is a pretty small senior class for the High Steppers this year.
Yeah.
And so it kind of feels like y'all are a tighter knit group.
Definitely.
And because there is not as many of y'all, that y'all come closer together and being able to experience these things together and enjoy it more. And as you mentioned, it is senior week this week, senior night for y'all this Friday night against Pine Tree. Tell us what you're most looking forward to for that game and playoffs also moving forward.
So I'm really looking forward. We do this tradition every year before we go on for halftime. We call it the senior circle. And
Sappy senior circle.
Yeah, Sappy senior circle. And basically all of it, we all get in our circle before we pray, and we just kind of like talk about why these last 4 years have been amazing for us. I mean, we've grown up with these girls like from middle school to now, and so it's kind of like our big goodbye to football season, even as we push off into playoffs. But yeah, it's just a big thing that we get to do, and so usually you'll catch us in a little circle just crying, but yeah.
This week I'm especially excited to walk. My mother is like super excited, like laid out her outfit and everything. And so I think I'm just more excited for her to be able to walk me than I am for this week in general. So
Yeah.
And so kind of talk about what having Miss Reynolds back means for y'all. The last time that she wasn't here whenever she was still on maternity leave, last time y'all were at Walk-Ons. Tell us what it means to y'all to have her back and kind of be and be your main instructor and be the person that you've grown up with your entire time here in the High Steppers.
it's definitely been a lot easier, like getting things done. Like we got things done when Tori was here, but with Reynolds here, she's the one who, like, you're not going to talk back to Miss Reynolds. You're not going to question her. If she's like, all right, you're in your formation right now, you're going to your formation right then. So it's definitely been a lot easier in like practice and stuff they've run. a little bit more smoother, I would say. But other than that, it's just nice to have her back.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
walking into the studio, she holds the door open for us every day when we walk into the studio. So like having her do that, being there, it's just been really nice.
Yeah, she's the backbone of the team. Like, I find myself so like dependent on her, and she makes fifth period just like so much more special. And again, we loved Tori. Tori has she was an amazing like part of our team, and I'm so glad that we got the time with her. But Miss Reynolds, she over these past 4 years, she's grown to be more than our director. She's our friend and just a little bit of our mom too.
Yeah.
And so it's really nice to have her back because you kind of just miss that feeling of having like your second mom when you're at your like second home. Yeah.
And I kind of talked with y'all before we went live of kind of last week, and you alluded to it of kind of the blunder that kind of happened. But I saw Miss Reynolds' face up there in the press box, and you could tell that she was stressed out because things weren't going right. But what I was more impressed with was how y'all handled it and how you carried on and made something out of nothing.
Yeah.
Your music cuts out. For people that didn't know, the music cut out mid-performance. The band wasn't there. They were getting ready for competition the next day. Music cuts out mid-performance, but y'all don't miss a beat.
Yeah.
Kind of tell us what goes into that and kind of how you made it happen. And not only that, the crowd's reaction to it. You're facing White House. I mean, they don't have to give you anything in a certain way, but they were nothing but complimentary of y'all and gave you all the praises and kind of talk about what that moment felt like for y'all and kind of how you adjusted and made the best out of that situation.
So, we had just watched a flag get thrown, and it happened to be a call on their team. And so we're like, before we walk on, we're not met ourselves with boos, but like they are booing like Texas High actively. And so we're already a little nervous walking on. And so we get to this point in the performance, and the music just cuts out, and all of a sudden I hear Kennedy, and she goes, "Keep going!" And we immediately after that, all of us like in unison pick up on the count. And we didn't miss one. And so there may have been a little fumbles, like trying to readjust the music stopping, but we handled it just so beautifully. And it was like to be a senior and to have something like that happen and for us to come together and pick up back in that moment and just to know that we're so in sync with each other. It's a really special moment. And it's something that you're like, I'm going to hold on to forever because I know that like my team is capable of doing so much. And we're just an amazing group of girls. And so when that happened, immediately, like, White House was silent when we did our strut
They were
on.
dead silent
there
the
was
entire time.
no reaction, but as soon as our music cuts out, it immediately, like, changes and their whole attitude. And they really just kept, like, the spirit, they just kept the spirit back into our performance. And it was just a really motivating thing to see somebody who's like booing your team and wants their team to win, like cheer you
Still
on when
support
you're,
you.
still support you when something bad has happened.
And the officers, we will collectively like clean a dance. Like we'll get assigned a dance and we clean that dance. And so I know like as soon as the music cut off, I was like, oh my gosh, what are we like? We have to start counting. There's a 4-count break at this dance. Like, what are we gonna do? I was freaking out. I was like, oh my gosh, we don't know the counts. What did I do? I did because I cleaned this one. I was like, oh my gosh, of course it's this one. Of course it's this one. But no, I'm really proud of how they carried on, and how they did it, and just the support that we got from everyone else, like in the audience. It was really
from
nice.
the mayor the mayor of White House. He
came up to
came and
Reynolds.
congratulated, not congratulated, but told Ms. Reynolds about how proud he was of our team
Wow.
and how amazing he thought our performance was that night.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
And like I'm saying, from the outside looking in, it kind of gave me chills just to see y'all handle that so well and see all the time and effort that y'all put into practices and that effort that you put in to make that happen even without your music. And that's a key part of it is to know that beat and to stay on beat. And y'all stay in unison. Like I can't stress that enough how much you stay in unison. And to go through that, I know that was a special moment for y'all.
Yeah.
And kind of talk about how that did grow you closer and grows you closer moving forward as we look into competition season.
So immediately after that happened, we walk off the field and we get back to our side, and like I said, it's our senior year, so I'm trying to hold on to these moments just as much as I can. And I mean, honestly, I like broke down in front of the team because I mean,
she did. She cries like every second she can.
Yeah. So I mean, I saw it happen, and I'm just like, I'm really proud of the team, but especially our rookies because we never taught them to like keep going if the music cuts off, and even the sophomores. And so the fact that everybody just like had this natural instinct to keep going, it was a beautiful moment for me.
And it's like I never want to forget it because I know that like this team is such a good team and I'm so proud of them and I'm so glad that like I get to lead them. And so to like have that as a memory of mine and to get to say that it's my team, like I just feel like it's really sentimental and I can just trust these girls like with my life basically because dance is my life right now. And so I can trust these girls so much and I know that they're going to pull through and they're going to show out for contest and spring show just like they're going to do on football games.
And it gives you a lot more confidence also just going into contest season.
Yeah.
Because we don't have a band behind us for contest season. The music could stop.
Yeah.
And everything's a lot more technical and stuff when it comes down to contest season and like the kicks that we're doing or the dance that we're doing in general. And so knowing that we can go in there and if by all means the music stops again, then we'll be able to handle it.
Yeah, and you kind of talked about it a little bit, but what is the true difference between what goes into your preparation for football games than it is between competition and ultimately getting ready for spring show at the end of your season?
So, well, football and contests are like they vary, like the dances and the style. So football season, it's very drill team-esque. So it is like the sharp movements, kicks and palms, and you don't really get like a lot of creative freedom in those. But with contests, we have like the 4 main dances we do plus the officer dances. So we have like novelty, which is like a team character dance. We have our kick dance and our palm dance, but kick and palm you get to have a lot more fun and you have a lot more dancing and it's not so like drill team and sharp and like
because on the football field it's like what's going to wow the crowd, what's going to get everyone pumped up because we want to ultimately get everyone excited for the football team to come back out. And so for sometimes people just aren't as enthralled with the dancing aspect as they are like us kicking our legs. That it's really exciting. And so during contest season we get to go out there and we get to dance, and that's ultimately what all of us are on the team for, is to dance. And so it's just a lot more fun. Also, I love contest season as much as it is tiring because we do the same thing over and over. It's like these 4 dances and it's like, all right, you're practicing these 4 dances until February. But no, I love contest season and like traveling with the team, that also gets us a lot closer. So that's always super fun.
And do y'all have a big trip planned this year?
That is like a big team trip would be next year, but every year for contest, we always have like one big, we always have like a big thing that we do on that weekend. And so the past 2 years we've gone 2 weekends. So last year we went and did like this big group workshop and it was like a big team building thing, but it was like zip lines and like games and stuff. And it's really fun. And it's just like, that's the time that we get to bond and we get to be each other's friends outside of dance, because a lot of our friendships, like a lot of the people on the team, our friendships are solely built on us being on the team together. And so when you get to experience these things with the people on the team outside of drill team and that realm, like you just build a lot closer of a friendship.
Well, girls, I appreciate y'all up here, and like I said, I was truly wowed by last week, and I respect y'all a lot more for what y'all did last week. And so I wish y'all the best for your senior night this Friday night and the rest of the football season coming up, and then the competition and spring show, of course.
Thank you
so
much.
We will be right back after these commercials.
Life is busy, and we get it. The State Bank mobile app was designed to make banking more convenient for you. Check account activity, make transfers, pay bills, and manage your debit card in a snap. You can deposit checks from the convenience of your home or wherever life lands you. The State Bank app lets you organize your accounts, manage alerts, and easily email our customer service experts. Now that you have State Bank at your fingertips, you can spend more time doing what's important to you.
Your family, your bank, State Bank.
back live here at Walk-Ons. We're joined with the football team now. We got Coach Elliott, Evan Holman, T.J. Gray, and David J. Potter here joined with us. Guys, tell us how you're feeling.
Good. We're just ready to play on Friday. You know, super excited. We've been practicing all week, getting ready, so we're ready.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. Energy high.
Been a good practice week, I'll say. Oh, yeah, I'm just excited to be up here with these guys, the studs, you know.
David J., kind of talk to us how you've been feeling the season so far. I mean, 18 touchdowns on the year, no interceptions. Feeling pretty comfortable in the pocket with guys like Evan Holman keeping you safe. Tell us what you've been seeing this year.
I mean, I've been feeling good all year. I got a bunch of weapons on offense. I got a bunch of linemen that can keep me protected and receivers that can run and catch the ball and running backs that can score touchdowns. So, I mean, we've been doing pretty good this year.
TJ, you've got over 700 yards so far this year. Tell us how you've been kind of linking up with David J. and kind of and feeling comfortable with him in the pocket.
I always felt comfortable with him. I'd say it came from the summer, just putting a lot of work in during the summer, and it just transitioned into the season.
And then Evan, you got a lot of leadership on that offensive line. You're working hard with these guys. I mean, allowing David J. to have all these passing yards, allowing two running backs with almost 1,000 yards each. Tell us what you've been seeing down there in the trenches.
Well, as an offensive line, we grew a lot this season.
Mm-hmm.
We had a lot of, I won't say problems, but we had to grow as an offensive line to be able to protect David J. and be able to block and open up the lanes for offensive line. So I feel like we've been doing pretty good.
And then Coach Elliott, working on this offense, tell us what you've seen from each of these guys and how each of their groups kind of works together to make a cohesive offense.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you can see just in the past year, like TJ said, from the summer coming up, you can see growth in every one of our position groups. David J. just a lot better, grown a lot in many facets of the game, a lot of it with his head, and then obviously physically as well, making a lot of plays for us this year. I think one of the biggest groups is Holman and that offensive line. I mean, like he said, we got some new faces in there this year, and they've really stepped up. Been a huge, huge impact for our offense. I mean, we got over 4,000 yards right now, and I'd say a big part of it is, one of the biggest parts is them. Obviously, our two running backs, they can go at any time, and you can play Chadarian all over the field. And then the receiver group, I'm really happy with them. We can do so much more this year offensively with TJ and Brandon, Amarion, and these older guys. We can get in a bunch of different formations, things like that, because they are intelligent and they've been in this offense for a while. They're making plays. And it's really good we got a bunch of young up-and-coming receivers, and they've helped them a lot. So, yeah, offense is rolling, and I hope it continues.
A lot of senior leadership on this team, but also still pretty young, and a lot of talent left to grow and continue to grow as they grow older in high school. What do you see as these guys kind of teach these guys how to move forward and how that helps them grow for the future?
Oh, like I said, these seniors, not including David J., but he kind of seems like one. He's been up there for so long. You can just see from last year we kind of limped into the playoffs there at the end. I mean, we struggled we were talking about this in the receiver room the other day. Struggled there with White House, and then Pine Tree. We pulled out a win, but it wasn't easy, and it showed in that first playoff game that we played. This year, I think we're starting to peak at the right time. I mean, we're moving the ball, we're scoring a lot of points, we're doing what we want to do, and I hope that continues. And I hope they're showing our younger guys how it's supposed to be done, how we're supposed to win games.
A big win this past week over White House. Obviously, last year, Coach Harrell talked about it a lot. You don't need to write a whole lot on the bulletin board to get guys excited for that game. And tell us what you guys saw in that game. Obviously, a district clinching game. What did it mean to you to win that game, come out there, and get revenge against White House there at home, or at their home?
We just wanted to go in and take over their crib, but it meant a lot just to get our get back, because we didn't like the taste they left in our mouth last year. It shouldn't have went down like that, but it is what it is. We got it back.
What about you, David J., later in the team?
We knew that we were better off than we were last year when we came into the game. So we were practicing hard, practicing fast. We got a few extra practices in. So, I mean, we knew we were ready.
And then, Evan, what have you been seeing from that defensive line of White House, but also a big defensive line coming in from Pine Tree as well. What do we expect to see from the offensive line and how they're adjusting?
Just to be more physical up front. That's what we need to do. That's what we improved a lot, just to be physical.
Final regular season home game for you two guys. Tell us what it's been meaning to you to kind of soak in the senior year and to enjoy Grimm one last year as a whole, and then obviously you got the playoff game coming up after this last game in the regular season. But how's it been feeling for y'all?
Oh man, it's bittersweet. I'm proud and sad at the same time. Just couldn't spend more time there winning, but you know it all got to come to an end someday.
Yeah. It hadn't sat in yet that I'm finna play my last home game at Grimm, but it will eventually though.
Yeah, we're already looking ahead. We're looking forward to playoffs. The first round of playoffs, it always sneaks up on you, and it gets a little tough. And the postseason is always something special and something more difficult and something that's going to challenge you more. We see that in all facets of the game. Tell us how you expect to get ready for that playoffs. Obviously, possibly looking against Terrell again. But no matter the competition, what gets you in that mindset for playoff football?
Oh man, just want to go to state, just that hunger, just to be better. And we got another home playoff game coming up against the same team, hopefully, and we just gonna get our get back like we did White House.
What you do?
It's getting cold outside. You know, that's the best time of the year to play football. That's when the real important games come. So, I mean, that's all I gotta.
Evan, you shook your head down there about that. You don't like the cold weather?
Not at all. It's like as offensive lineman and it's cold and we're on the field the whole time.
Yeah.
Hitting after every play and it's cold outside, it hurt.
Well, okay. I'll ask you a question then. You rather that August game against Frisco Lone Star or this November game against Terrell?
I answer for him. Terrell all day. Terrell all day.
It's football weather though. Like I felt yesterday. I was like, I want to go out and throw a football with my little brother today. Like it felt like football weather. I mean, something that you can enjoy. And tell us how that helped and encourages you in the passing game and how you have to adjust as well.
I mean, so when it gets cold outside, you know, your hands lose the moisture and they get kind of just chalky a little bit. So I mean, you gotta keep them moist and keep them warm. So I mean, that's really all you gotta do.
Coach Elliott, I've been dying to ask you this. Obviously, you got the thing with Michigan going on about the sign stealing. You're a big guy relaying signs down there on the field for Coach Toon. Tell us what goes into signaling these guys and getting that process to them to where they know every single play and they're on the right connection, and that you're doing your job right to make sure that they do their job right.
Yeah, it can get stressful, especially. We have a few people down there, and different people are talking to different players on the field. But I guess the best way is just we got to make sure we're on the same connection. So me with the receivers and whoever else, I just got to make sure that they can remember it. A lot of times they'll come up with the signs. Like David J is really good at coming up with signs that he can remember. And so that's the main thing. And then relaying it what Coach Toon gives us and getting it to them. And trying not to get yelled at by Coach Stanford if it's taking too long.
And what's the process of coming up with these signs and make sure that it's instilled in these guys, making sure that there's no misunderstandings? Like, how much of that time do you take in practice each week to make sure that you're on the same page?
We usually come up with it. What do you say, TJ? Come up with it in the film room?
In the film room, just on the fly. He'll just ask, tell us a play name, and he'll just ask us, like, if he say horse, and we'll just figure out what a horse is.
Not a horse. It's easy. Just make it something that it is what it looks like.
Something memorable, but also something fun for you guys too.
Yeah.
Something nothing too complicated. So tell us your connection with Coach Elliott, obviously, and kind of what he's taught you and how you guys have grown being with him.
Oh man, Coach Elliott. When I first came in, Coach Elliott was a running back coach. Going into my 10th grade year, it was kind of new for me because he had came in. So he wanted me to fulfill a big shoes after Ryan them. He was my coach on JV. But so I already knew what it was about, and then it was just about putting in the work and understanding what he wanted me to do.
And then Evan, you had Coach Harrell all 3 years of your time before coming into this season. He obviously steps away from the football program to do something else. Kind of tell us what that adjustment was like to have a new offensive line coach and adjust to, and how you guys handle that situation with him.
I mean, it hurt when Coach Al left, and I wouldn't say it was just a big adjustment, but it was an adjustment having to be taught by a new coach and see how he coaches and see how he wants us to run things. So,
what are you guys most looking forward to Friday night against Pine Tree?
a win.
A blowout, blowout, and get ready for the playoffs. That's all we're worried about right now. But we got to take one step at a time. We got to slow ourselves down and make sure we secure this dub.
It's like a week to us to focus on getting everything right and getting ready for the playoffs.
Gives you time for Worth to practice a little bit more too.
Yeah.
Coach Elliott, you got anything else that you've kind of noticed about this team and kind of what's made them special this year for you?
Main thing is, I'm telling you, is our practices. We're sharper. We're a lot more focused than we've been in the past few years. And you can just tell the kids want to win, and they're excited every day. And they want to practice, they want to play, and you can tell on Friday nights we're playing a lot harder, we're playing a lot sharper, a lot faster. So,
guys, I appreciate your time, and we wish you all the best Friday night and everything moving forward.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
We'll be right back after these commercials.
Whether you're looking for a new or pre-owned car, truck, or SUV, or maybe a new or pre-owned boat or RV, care for a car wash, had a fender bender, or you need service on your vehicle, boat, or RV, we have it all when you let us exceed your expectations at Greg Orr Auto, Marine, and RV in Shreveport, Texarkana, and Ashdown. Shop hassle-free and always be treated like family while choosing from our sensational selection. In Shreveport, visit Orr Acura, Orr BMW, Orr Cadillac, and the Greg Orr Pre-Owned Super Center. In Texarkana, Classic Buick GMC, Classic Cadillac, Classic Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, Classic Kia, Classic Mazda, Classic Pre-Owned, the Classic Car Wash, Greg Orr Marine and RV, Greg Orr Collision, and Classic Chevrolet in Ashdown. Or visit gregorauto.com.
And we are back live here at Walk-Ons with our final segment. We're joined here with the defensive guys. We got AJ McElroy, Kenneth Merriman, Orlando Barnes, and then we got Coach Ashton Greer down there. How are you doing, Coach?
Pretty good. How about you?
I'm doing all right. How are you guys doing?
I'm good.
All right.
I'm good, man.
You doing all right? How's practice been going this week?
Been a smooth week of practice.
We've been grinding, trying to execute, trying to put in new and execute the old. Just going at one another all practice.
We've been real focused up all week. We ready to go play Pine Tree.
Speaking of Pine Tree, what are you guys seeing from Pine Tree? What are you most looking forward to for that game, and what are you expecting to see in that game for your guys?
This game really just to show what we can do, to show that we're ready to play in the playoffs, show to get us where we want to be.
This game shows that we are playoff ready. We're a playoff team. We are a state team.
I feel like the game, based on we got to come out, and show that we ain't gonna let down. We just gotta keep going all through the season.
Yeah, not just taking it as a stepping stone.
Yeah,
but using it as something to build off of and continue to grow as playoffs go. Because you don't want to get lackadaisical coming into that playoff game. You don't want to get lax and kind of come up stumbling. what have you each been seeing from your kind of opposition opponents? What have you guys been seeing from the O-line, from Pine Tree, and you as well from the wide receivers and the running backs?
Their O-line is pretty good. You know, they come off the ball, they execute, they're very coachable. You know, they're very good at what they do. You know, but our coaches, Coach Greer and Coach Hawk, they put in a good game plan that we're going to execute.
I'll say in their receiving core, it's a pretty solid group. Nothing to be too afraid of. But you don't want to take anybody lightly, honestly. So I think we just got to go out, execute the scheme that's put in, and that's it.
Coach Greer, what have you been seeing from your guys, and how do you think they match up against Pine Tree this week?
I mean, I think we've had a pretty good week of practice so far. You know, sometimes on Mondays, that's a slow day sometimes, you know, because you're putting the game plan in and trying to get folks in the right spot, get lined up. And there's more to it than what we do. You know, Coach Wilson and Coach Hawk, our defensive coordinators, they do a good job at getting the scouting report ready and the play cards and things like that. So on the other side of that, you got to get the scout team ready to run that stuff right. So Monday was somewhat of a typical Monday. I think we were, you know, the Mondays get better as the season progresses. And, you know, yesterday we had a really good practice as well, and today we got after it. So I think we'll be okay come Friday. You know, I think Pine Tree's a well-coached football team, and I think they're in the playoffs. I'm not 100% sure, but, you know, they're not a team that traditionally goes to the playoffs a lot, but I think they're in the playoff picture right now. So like A.J. mentioned earlier, you know, you can't take them lightly. They're going to come out. And although they may be in the playoffs, you know, they're going to come out, and their goal is to beat Texas High. So, you know, we can't come out half-stepping. We got to come out, you know, functioning on all cylinders. And if we do that and we do what we do well and what we've done the last 9 weeks, I think we'll be okay.
Yeah, I think they're still trying to kind of figure out that 3-4-5 situation with Mount Pleasant, Marshall, and Pine Tree. And obviously, I believe that they are kind of going to give their all to make sure that they can secure that spot. And in a way, this could be noted as a letdown spot for Texas High. Obviously, coming off a big, huge win against White House, you secure that district championship, and then the next week after that, you got the playoffs. Tell us how you guys have been focusing the coaching staff of making sure these guys stay focused and keep their mind centered on Pine Tree this week.
Well, we're district champions, and we're in the playoffs, but we're not looking, you know, ahead of Pine Tree. We're focusing on Pine Tree, and you know, we'll let that other district sort itself out, and come Saturday morning when it's time to start game planning for whoever it may be in that district, we'll start preparing for them like we do a regular week. You know, I think this team has exceeded expectations. We've got a lot of young guys playing in the secondary and a lot of young receivers and things like that all over the place. I don't know if people pay attention to special teams, and we got a lot of young guys on special teams, but they're making some big plays, and they're doing a really good job. And you know, Coach Stanford, he's the type of guy, he lets you coach and he lets you do your job. And if you're not doing your job, he'll let you know about it on Friday night. He's let me know a few times when he felt like some things could have been better on special teams. And you can't take that stuff personal. I think you got to just, you know, he'll let you know about it and you make the adjustments. We did it last week against White House. You know, they had a couple of big returns on their kickoff return. And he let me know about it at the end of the second quarter. And we fixed it. You know, I put TJ and T-Ball in some interior spots on the kickoff team, and the ball never crossed the 20-yard line in the second half. So we made some adjustments with our really, really good players and those young guys on the outside. So, you know, we'll see what happens on Friday.
You guys kind of talk about what that White House win meant to y'all. Obviously, a tough loss last year at home, but then you come back and you make up for it. Coach Harrell spoke a lot in the booth last week about how you don't really have to write a lot of the bulletin board for that kind of game. You come in and you come in ready for a team like White House. Obviously, you secure the district championship. Kenneth, you ended up winning our defensive MVP this week. Tell us what that win meant to y'all last week.
That win felt just like another win. We're at the point where our team is built to, you know, just be better, and we just take that win as just another win. We're going to go on to next week and prepare for that team, and then after that, prepare for that team, and until, you know, we win.
State. It's the goal.
So I just feel it's just another win.
Another win, but I do want to talk about a big moment in that game for you, that interception.
Yeah.
Not a whole lot of big men be able to get those interceptions. Tell us what that meant to you to get that interception. Obviously, a bad pass from Dowden, and kind of just fell in your arms. Tell us what that meant for you and kind of to celebrate that with your team after that moment.
First of all, I want to shout out Coach Aubrey for letting me in the D-backs drill, you know, and it just came natural, you know. I just tipped it, and then it just came natural. I just did what I do best, make plays as a playmaker.
Well, now he think the other day, I think it was yesterday or maybe this morning, now he thinks he's a quarterback. He was telling me he can throw the ball. And so interception does things.
We might see Kenneth in some Wildcats.
Interception does things for your mentality, so I think he's done some things for him.
You two both did interior linemen. Tell us how you kind of work together and that on that defensive line and what Coach Hawk tells you each week and helps you get motivated to and not necessarily helps you get motivated, but to succeed in pressuring the quarterback and laying some hits on him.
He just tells us just to do what we do. He puts a plan in. He wants us to execute it. So we go do what we do.
Yeah, Coach Hawk always let us know. He tell us if we come off the ball, we'll stop it. They can't run the ball. Stop the run, we'll be all right. In each game we play, stop the run, you know.
I'd say the defensive line has always been something prideful for Texas High. Obviously, a bunch of big names that have come out of it, and guys that you've played with as far as interior lineman. Brandon Childs last year, huge member of Texas High on that defensive line. Tell us what you kind of saw from him and kind of what he gave y'all to move forward and to grow as in your senior years and kind of what you're trying to pass on to the next group as well.
Last year, I played with Brandon Childs. You know, he's a very good and very coachable person. He showed me that size don't really matter, and that if you're a ball player, go be a ball player. And I want to pass down the not wanting to quit, even though your number may not be called, or you're just just in the back, to just that you have a chance to step up and be better than what you think that you are.
What about you, Orlando?
That's kind of what I'm going through right now, how he said, not wanting to quit. I never, wanted to quit it because I always knew, I could be pretty good, because Coach Hawk always tell me, just, listen, pay attention, lock in, and, I can be pretty good.
And something that I've been very impressed with this season and I thought has taken Texas High that next step is this secondary. AJ, tell us what you've been seeing in the secondary and how you guys feel as a group have truly grown this season.
In the secondary, last year it was pretty rough. We wasn't the best secondary. Coming into the offseason, we knew what we had to do. We knew we had to get better. We knew we had to be a complete change from what it was last year. So each week has been a build-up week. We haven't necessarily went down yet. We continually getting better, and we just trying to not to peak, keep going, keep climbing.
And I think a big thing that kind of goes unnoticed, but a big key part of that is how y'all are able to rotate in and out and not really lose anything. You got your main guys that are your starters that are studs, and then you got to rotate some guys in, and you don't feel like you lose anything with rotating those guys in. Tell us how the depth of this of the secondary has really grown and made you guys really whole this season.
Each one of us are able to go out there and play a game right now. So I feel like with the depth we have, we never tired. We always fresh. We always loosen up. We can always switch in and out and not feel like we losing a step on the defense. So I feel like that really helped us, kept us fresh, kept us healthy. So that's really been a big part of it.
They're never tired until it's time to play kickoff. Everybody's tired.
I was just about to ask you, there's always 3 points to a game, and one that gets overlooked is special teams, Coach Greer. Tell us what has truly gone into special teams this season, kind of a change at kicker at one point and kind of made that adjustment and has done well, but also adjusting to guys that you don't necessarily see come in at linebacker or tight end, but they make their name known on the special teams.
So the hardest thing for me, I'm the head JV football coach too. The hardest thing for me was, I think, week 2. I walked into Coach Stanford's office with a list of about 5 names that played JV that were really, really good players in our JV that said, hey, we can use these guys on special teams on varsity. And he listened to me, and we've been able to utilize every last one of them. We put we put a lot into it. This is my second year being a special teams coordinator, and we're just trying to be a lot better at it than what we were. We had a goal to not let somebody run a kickoff back on us, and then it happened, I think, against Mount Pleasant. No, not Mount Pleasant. It was, I don't know, whoever it was. I don't know. We won the game. Nacogdoches. They won. They ran one back, and then I heard about it. And then, but anyhow, that was our goal with those young guys, and that happened. But it was late in the game, and not making excuses. It was late in the game. I think they kind of took a play off. We had about 50 points on the board, but we put a lot into it, and we take a lot of pride in it. We've kind of split up the duties on each unit with kickoff return and punt and kickoff and things like that, as well as punt return. And we're just letting those young guys go out and have fun. And the most important part about that to me is that there's kids that's having fun and wanting to be out there, and they're making plays. We've had some special team player of the week that, are guys that are from the started on the JV team this year. And, we're real proud of that. And most recently, our special teams player of the week last week was Cam Reitner. He's playing a lot of spots. He's playing corner, receiver, backup quarterback. He's the punter. He's doing whatever you ask him to do. He's running down on kickoff. He's on kickoff return. And, he's really one of the guys that has put a lot of work in, along with those other guys. And it just helps us, go out on Friday nights. It just makes things easier for our team to go out and be able to execute on special teams.
And this is true not only with special teams, but with all of you. And not only sometimes it's just based off of athleticism. It's based off of being able to be smart and being the mentality and kind of knowing the right situation and everything. So kind of talk about that with how special teams works and in each of your positions as well.
Yeah, so, we don't have the biggest and fastest guys on special teams. The fastest guy on the football team, I just took him off of the kickoff team because he needed a break. He starts at corner and he plays a whole lot of reps at corner. So I put one of the other faster guys on the team on there to take his spot, and I'll just rotate them in and out. But, they just go down. They just got heart, man. They go down and they make plays, and they want to be out there. And I think the good part about the sophomores we have on special teams, like you said earlier, a lot of them don't necessarily start at their position, whether it be linebacker, running back, receiver, corner, or whatever. But what they do, they go out there for that one play they get every 6 minutes, and they go out there and they bust their tails, get down the field, and they make a play, and we just take a lot of pride in that. And I think AJ, he's one of our backups on kickoff team, and every now and then when we're doing special teams, I'll just holler for different guys to come over. If you're a backup, you need to come watch. Kenneth, he's on the punt return team, which is our first defense basically. Orlando's did some time this year on the punt team as one of the Bulls or whatever. And so if you tell him he's subbing in, say, hey, it was a home game about a month ago. I said, Orlando, you're going to go in if we got to punt it again. And then he just came back to me and said, okay, what do I do? He needed a refresher because he hadn't really practiced it much that week. So I refreshed him real quick on the sideline just to get them ready. So they're flexible and they can play anywhere on special teams, and that's, what I'm real proud of.
And then each of you guys, kind of how I was talking about, just to kind of refresh you, how does more of your mentality going into it matter more than your athleticism in certain ways, and kind of being smarter than your opponent and knowing key situations and how to capitalize on those?
Definitely say football, especially defense, is more of a mental game than it is physical. I'm an undersized player to play safety, and it's mostly mental. You just got to be able to make the plays that you can make. Play to your strengths, play to your weaknesses, play to the opponent's weaknesses, and that's it. Just capitalize on the opportunities that you get.
I'll say watching film is a big key in today's game. And seeing, you can, see how a player is playing against someone else. And if you're undersized like me at the position I play, it really just shows you need heart, you need dedication, you need the will to be taking blows for blows every single play.
Orlando, your turn.
I really feel like being mental is really just listening to the coaches, because I remember last game he was telling us this is ready to war. If you ain't ready to go to war, don't even come out. And just having that same mentality,
Yeah. And then this is a big senior night, or you had your senior night last home game, but senior night for the regular season at Grin this week, and then you got the playoff game next week at home. Tell us what this means to you as seniors to kind of step out there for Grimm these final times, and and what it means to you to carry that legacy out there.
And man, it's emotional. Like bits and pieces of practices, I can feel it getting closer and closer. I can tell it's coming. It slowly comes in, and you can't do nothing to stop it. So my mentality going in is to give it all I got, leave it out on the field, because you can't stop time. It's coming, and it's coming.
Based on what he just said, like a field to end coming, you know, it's very, very emotional that this is my last year playing with my guys, you know, and just we built the family, you know, and just I hope that everyone just stays together and just keeps working and just become more of a family than you have outside of school, you know, to just be one with each other.
Yeah, and I'm not a senior, so seeing Merriman like leave, you know, he had to tell me like to get right sometime, like let me know I'm doing wrong, and I don't get mad like because that's my player. He just let me know that I need to step up because it's about that time that I step up and like show that I can play.
And then Coach Greer, what have you seen from this senior group, and not only from the defensive side, but just all around as a senior group, and how they've kind of made a big impact on guys like Orlando and guys coming up next year?
So, quick funny story. I know y'all got to go to commercial or something, but 7th grade, 8th grade, 9th grade, they went 3-23. They had 3 wins and 23 losses. The class of 2024. So to have a chance to go undefeated for only the 9th time in Texas High history, it says a lot about how hard they've worked, the time and the commitment that the coaching staff have put into this, their parents allowing us to pour into them and things like that. 3-23, that'll get you fired, you know, if this was a college team or NFL team. But, you know, they stayed the course with it. The guys that stayed, it's paying off. And, you know, they got nothing to hold their head down about whenever the season may end, which hopefully it's 7 weeks from now at AT&T Stadium where they opened up the 2022 season. So we're proud of them and them showing up every day and just being committed to what we're doing. And, you know, you got your struggles sometime, like any family, you got your struggles, but, you know, what makes you a family is that you stick together and, you know, you see it through. So we're proud that they're a part of the family, and, you know, we'll see what we do on Friday night and for the next several weeks.
Well, guys, I truly appreciate y'all time and coming out. We wish y'all the best this upcoming week against Pine Tree and for the next 7 weeks, as Coach Greer said. We appreciate y'all. We appreciate everybody tuning in tonight here live for Texas High Takeover. We're going to say goodnight for tonight, and we'll see y'all later.